My mouth doesn't move this way.
One more time.
Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor.
Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Yeah, there you go. Doesn't matter.
I love you.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Taylor, and today we are talking to you a little bit about the problem that we have with buying. It's a big time problem buying books from the thrift store. And we've had people ask, not a lot, but it's asked either by people in the comments here or like family members and friends, like, why do you buy so many books from the thrift store? There's no possible way you're going to read all of these. We do have a pretty good reason for that.
To help curate our little free library that's out front of our house.
Right.
That's why I pointed off screen.
Yeah, it's out that way. We have a little free library out front. Now, again, we understand that the purpose for the little free library is for people to come and leave books and take books. And that happens. We have a really good turnover, I think. Yeah. It's not so much right now because it's really hot here.
Yeah.
And we shade our little free library to try to make it as inviting as possible, but you don't get as many walkers and things like that. However, considering we have had a pretty good turnover out there. But we like to curate a collection to keep it fresh, to keep it varied. I don't know, and just to make it feel like we're giving something back to the community. And
so that when the same walkers walk by, they see something new, and it's not the same, collection.
And we don't. I mean, nobody's buying these books from us. We don't really get anything back for that, other than just the feeling of knowing like there's good stuff out in the free library. So I don't know. Maybe this is like us trying to get a stamp of approval. You're doing a good job. But I don't know. We kind of feel motivated to hunt through the thrift stores and
find the gems.
Find the gems. Find the good stuff.
We found some good ones.
Yeah.
That we're gonna go through now. We have 10 recent pickups.
Right. And I will mention too that if you are interested in starting a little free library, and maybe you don't have a lot of books from your own personal library to feed into that little free library, and you want to beef it up, going to thrift stores and local library sales is a really good way to do that for not very much money. And so I recommend that if you're trying to curate a collection for a little free library.
Yeah, for sure. And we also have a previous video where we give you some tips on how to run a library.
What makes a really good little free library? We'll link to that video down below. But let's go ahead and get into our 10 recent pickups from the thrift stores. Now, mine is not necessarily, these are great books and I can vouch for all of these.
Exactly.
It's more like when you're picking through the books, you find ones that are in really great condition.
Yeah, or they spark your curiosity.
Right. Or they have some kind of, maybe there's like it's a special edition or something like that. And so that's kind of what this is. We can't vouch for the stories here. I've never read any of these. And we're also going to be telling you whether it's going to be something we think we would put into the little free library to share or to keep.
We're going to keep for ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with this one. This is the most recent book that
I'm going to look it up on
as published, but it's called All Fours.
Hold on. If you got it, it's
All Fours by July Miranda. This is a book that came out last year. The reason I picked it up, a couple of reasons actually. One, I kept seeing it on my Goodreads friends list, like people were reading it last year and it seemed like they were enjoying it. Two, when I was looking for a birthday present or anniversary present or one of the books I bought for you, this is one that I was thinking about getting for you, but I kind of went a different route. And three, I think this might be a contender for Brandon's Smutty Book Club.
Oh,
I think
really?
there's a little bit of a...
Is that why it's called All Four?
I don't know, maybe. But I was interested in it. It says an irreverently sexy, tender, hilarious, and surprising novel about a woman upending her life.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Part absurd entertainment, part tender reinvention of the sexual, romantic, and domestic life of a 45-year-old female artist. All Fours transcends expectation while excavating our beliefs about life lived as a woman.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I for whatever reason, it kept popping up when I was looking at books.
What is it about that one that you thought would be?
I don't know. It was one that was I kind of went up different route, but it was one that kept coming up, and I saw that it got good ratings. I think on that bookmarked website I like to use, and so when I saw it at the thrift store, it was only like a couple bucks,
and it's in great condition.
Yeah, it's a hardback with the dust jacket still. There's no staining. It's got a couple folded pages in the middle here. Like this is where somebody gave up on page 33.
Yeah, there's no dog ears after that.
Yeah, it's all done there. But it's like after that, it's pristine.
Yeah.
There's no writing on it. It looks great.
Cool.
So yeah, I wanted to give it a.
You know, how much did you pay for that at the thrift store?
I think it was because it was a hardback. I think it was like $3.
3. Okay, that's pretty good.
3 or 4 bucks.
Okay. The prices, it's interesting because when you go to library book sales, they're really inexpensive.
Especially if they do $5 bag.
Yeah, I know, where you fill a bag for $5.
Yeah.
At our libraries, the paperbacks are $1 and the hardcovers are $2,
Sometimes
regardless of the
smaller
condition.
paperback are 50 cents.
Yeah, so you can really get a lot. I mean, three,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
shoot, it's like
I
essentially
mean, I
brand
think
new.
going brand new, it was probably
Yeah.
$2 or something.
Good. Is it a little free library? How do we do this? A little free library? We have to have a fun way to come up with like
A little free library, let go.
little free library let go or home library hero.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think it's a hero home for the home library. I do want to read it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it out in the little free library and let it go. If it's still out there, when I have a like moment where I like, I want something different to read, I'll go grab it if it's still out there. If not, I'll find it again.
Let the universe decide.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I like that.
I'll let it go.
Okay, it's my turn, Pepper.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one I have is one that I kind of just grabbed. This is Pepper. I kind of grabbed by just basing it off of the cover.
Yeah.
The cover looked interesting to me.
It's
and
scandalous.
Yes, and it's a mass market paperback that looks like it's in really good shape. And I just felt like, I don't know. Yeah. It is called Nobody Believes Me. Pepper, my lord.
No,
I don't understand.
No.
Between the kids and the dog.
Come on, Pat.
All right, one more. It's called Nobody Believes Me by Molly Katz.
Yeah.
And it says a spine tingler, genuinely frightening and gripping by the Boston Herald.
So it's a thriller, but it has this look like it has like maybe a romance or a
I know. It says a novel of love and terror. And it just sounded really interesting to me. And it was, I mean, I can't even remember. It wasn't very much at all. It says, even if Lynn Marchette hadn't been looking for love, the devastatingly handsome Greg Alter would be hard to resist. And she doesn't. She abandons herself to the passion that Greg stirs in her and tries to ignore the little doubts, the fleeting chill, the subtle fear that he arouses.
Wow.
Insidious and diabolical suspense at its very best. It says, are his overtures aggressive? Are his gifts double-edged? Are his sexy whispers threatening? But he talked like that from the start, insists Lynn's best friend. You enjoyed it. You told me. Lynn begins to feel suffocated and disturbed. She's got to stand up for herself. She breaks it off.
Or is this
But Greg won't take no for an answer.
Is this an excerpt?
Can I finish?
Sorry.
The man wants to see you again, so he keeps calling, reasons Lynn's brother. She almost believes him until a life-threatening letter from Greg, written in her own hand, shatters the remnants of her self-possession. Now everyone, even the police, begins to doubt her, and Lynn must face the soul-shaking truth. Nobody believes me. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of one of the synopses from our AI or ISBN live video that we had like AI come up with like a synopsis for a book. That's what this sounds like. It gets 3.4 stars. Yes, it's paperback trash and early 90s trash at that, but it's expertly crafted and defied expectations for its own trope.
Sometimes that's what you need.
Sometimes that's exactly what you need. It's just paperback trash.
Yeah. So what are you doing? You little free library let go, or
can we start a book club called Paperback Trash?
Sure. With all the other ones we got going.
T-shirts.
Paperback trash.
Paperback trash.
90s trash.
At that. I don't know. I mean,
it's a let go or a home shelf hero.
A let go or a home shelf hero. You know what? I think it's going to be a let go. Little free library let go, because I want to send off some real quality paperback trash into the community, because I think more people in the community
that want it.
Need this in their life.
A let go.
So Nobody Believes Me by Molly Katz is a little free library let go.
All right.
And I'm proud of that.
My next one is...
Guys, this is not classy at all. I'm drinking a rock star.
That's all right. The Windup Bird Chronicle by Haruki Murakami.
Murakami.
Yeah. As you guys know, I recently finished
Murakami
Kafka on the Shore. And this is another book by him.
Yeah.
And look at this thing. Other than a little bit of staining,
it's in fantastic condition.
No issues with the pages or writing or anything on it. I don't know what this book's about, but I am one of those guys that will fall into just like reading a lot of what one author writes. Mm-hmm. So I did that. I do that with Stephen King. I like to read anything his. I've read a bunch of T. King Fisher. Mm-hmm. After reading Kafka on the Shore, I have really kind of I like his writing style. I like that book, so I'm going to give him another shot, and that's why I picked up this book.
But when you picked this up, was it because you were more interested in it, or you wanted to put it in a little free library? No, this doesn't have to be your...
No, it's decision. Because I was more interested in it myself, because I've recently had just finished Kafka on the Shore.
Do you want me to tell you what it's about?
Sure.
It says Japan's most highly regarded novelist now vaults into the first ranks of international fiction writers with this heroically imaginative novel, which is at once a detective story, an account of a disintegrating marriage, and an excavation of the buried secrets of World War II. In a Tokyo suburb, a young man named Toru Okada searches for his wife's missing cat. Soon he finds himself looking for his wife as well in another world that lies beneath the placid surface of Tokyo. As these searches intersect, Okada encounters a bizarre group of allies and antagonists, a psychic prostitute, a malevolent yet mediagenic politician, a cheerfully morbid 16-year-old girl, and an aging war veteran who has been permanently changed by the hideous things he witnessed during Japan's forgotten campaign in Manchuria. Gripping, prophetic, suffused with comedy and menace, the Windup Chronicle is a tour de force equal in scope to the masterpieces of Mishima and Pynchon. I mean, it sounds good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what
It also has a kind of similar themes that it sounded like Kafka on the Shore, kind of a metaphysical maybe realm almost or something like that. Yeah, I was intrigued without even knowing what the book was about just because it's by Murakami. And I wanted to read more by him after reading that one.
Yeah.
So I think without you even having to ask, this is a home shelf hero.
It is a home.
It's going to be something I want to read and add to my
Cool. I think
journey.
that's a great.
Yeah.
Good. I like that. It says, Washington Post says mesmerizing. Murakami. Whenever like you read a praise and it says it's their most ambitious, it's like when somebody's saying, "Wow, they really tried
Hard
for this. It's their most ambitious." Murakami's most ambitious attempt yet to stuff all of modern Japan into a single fictional edifice. That makes me kind of. I don't know how positive of a review that is.
All right, you're next.
It's my turn.
What are you doing? What's your
This next one?
Oh.
Is by Naomi Novik.
Oh,
now, this is a book by an author that I've seen other books by her before, and I can't remember. It was called like Spinning Gold or Spun.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a Rumpelstiltskin style story. I don't know much about that one, but I found this at the thrift store. It's in immaculate condition. It's a paperback. It's called Uprooted. I mean, look, I'm trying to like kind of, it's in great condition.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It has a praise on the back by Ursula K. Le Guin, who is an author that I would really love to read.
We got a couple books of hers up there that I want to read. She's
like Mama Fantasy, from what I gather. She says the magic in Uprooted is so vividly believable that it almost seems you could work the spells, which I love that. And then NPR says moving, heartbreaking, and thoroughly satisfying. Clear your schedule before picking it up because you won't want to put it down. And then,
that's good.
Yeah, it says Agnieszka loves her valley home in a quiet village, but the corrupted wood stands on the border full of malevolent power, and its shadow lies over her life. Her people rely on the cold, driven wizard known only as the dragon to keep the wood's dark forces at bay, but he demands a terrible price for his assistance. Every 10 years, one young woman must be handed over to serve him without question. The next choosing is fast approaching, and Agnieszka everyone knows, that the dragon will take Kasia, beautiful, graceful, brave Kasia, all the things Agnieszka isn't, and her dearest friend in the world, and there is no way to save her. But when the dragon comes, it is not for Kasia he will choose.
Oh, interesting. Is
Sounds
this like
cool.
A Polish writer?
Yes, it's I don't know if she might be Polish, and it's really funny because when we were playing The Witcher and getting into like The Witcher books by Andrzej Sapkowski, I was thinking I want to read more fantasy or fiction from like what is that like Eastern European writers, Polish.
Yeah, she is born in New York but raised on Polish fairy tales.
Cool. So that's I don't know. I think that's really cool that there's that folklore in there, which is what I really loved about the Witcher stories. So this is something that intrigues me because it does come from that Polish folklore side of things, which I really think is cool based on like the Witcher stories and all of that. So I don't know, and it's in such great condition. It's like this is what I would get if I went to Barnes & Noble and bought this book right now.
Yeah.
And considered it.
With that in mind,
is
it a little free library, let go? Little free library, let go.
You got it.
Or a home shelf hero?
I think it's a home shelf hero. Oh, I really like this. Let me know if you've read this in the comments because I've heard good things about this.
My next one is also from an author I've read before that I enjoyed. It's from when we kind of first started this channel, actually. But this is The Crossing by Cormac McCarthy.
I honestly don't know why anybody needs to read anything by this guy.
Yeah, so I don't know. I read The Road. I enjoyed it. It's definitely one of those books that is like gut punching and gut wrenching and really kind of, but it's a good story of like fatherhood and
Fatherhood
yeah,
in the road?
yeah.
That's not real fatherhood.
He is trying to make sure his son is safe and
During
protected.
a post-apocalyptic United States.
So he should just let him go.
No, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying like a book about like yes, of course he's
Yeah,
doing what
it's
any father would
traumatic,
do,
and
but
he's
it's
doing
like
what his best he can to keep his son
I
safe.
don't know. I never read it. I can't say anything. I
Yeah.
just feel
Well,
like
anyway, I enjoyed that book. I really did, and you hear nothing but good things about other books he's read. So I saw this one. I figured it was only like $2, 2.50. So I figured,
high praise for Cormac. It was only 250. I figured I might as well give it a
what
try.
are you doing? It says, in The Crossing, Cormac McCarthy fulfills the promise of All the Pretty Horses, which is a book that I do want to read as well.
A really gut
And at the
punching
same time, gives us a work that is darker and more visionary, a novel with the unstoppable momentum of a classic Western and the what is that? The
elegiac.
elegiac power of the lost American myth. In the late 1930s, 16-year-old Billy Parham.
Like an elegy. Elegiac,
Oh,
I
okay.
guess. I don't know.
Billy Parham captures a she-wolf that has been marauding his family's ranch, but instead of killing it, he decides to take it back to the mountains of Mexico. With that crossing, he begins an arduous and often dreamlike journey into a country where men meet like ghosts and violence strikes as suddenly as heat lightning. A world where there is no order save that which death has put there. An essential novel by any measure.
It says here,
This
this
is
is
number
part of
two?
right.
Oh, okay, so that. I kind of thought that. So
All
this
the
is
Pretty Horses is number one. That's
Okay.
what it says there.
Okay.
So, okay, listen, I've seen the movie All the Pretty Horses.
Yeah, I have
Have
not.
you?
No.
Terribly depressing. So I guess like when it comes to Cormac McCarthy, between my experience watching All the Pretty Horses, your experience reading The Road, and other people who pretty much think that The Road can just go right off, I just kind of wonder why people want to read that kind of stuff. But look, hey,
Yeah. Listen, I think
if that's what you want.
I do. I want to read. Everyone says that All the Pretty Horses is like you gotta read it. Do you want me to give my decision on this?
Yeah, what is it? What is it? A little free library let go?
Yeah.
Or home shelf hero?
Okay. I think because it's a number two, it's the second
Is
in the
it
series.
number two?
No. I'm gonna let it go for the little free library and go pick up and find a copy of All the Pretty Horses first. And if it's still in there when I finish All the Pretty Horses, grab it back again. But
And if you're still,
and maybe somebody has read All the Pretty Horses and didn't realize that there's another one, and they can grab it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. You're next.
Some of these like real uber depressing books. I just don't understand it. Are you ready for my next one?
Yeah.
Okay. Wha-bam! This is called The Guest by Emma Klein.
This cover reminds me of Tessa Moshfegh's.
I thought this was by her.
Death in Her Hands.
Yes, and that Lapvoma book or whatever has the same kind of style.
Name.
I bought this from the thrift store primarily because I think it had a really cool cover and it's in fantastic condition for a used paperback.
Yeah.
But also because I think it adds a little bit of I don't know, spice, but like variety to our little free library.
Yeah.
Something different, maybe something a little bit more.
Away?
That's well, I'm not. That was the thought process. When we go to the thrift store, that's in the back of my mind.
That's always the kind of the forefront.
Yeah, so that's why I grabbed it. But then I started reading a little bit more about it. So this, it says, intoxicating, smoldering, incandescent, spellbinding. That's from Time, the Washington Post, Los Angeles Times, Vogue. But then the New York Times adds a few words. Every sentence as sharp as a scalpel.
Nice.
Okay, I don't think you can rely on any of those, to be honest. Summer is coming to a close on the east end of Long Island, and Alex is no longer welcome. A misstep at a dinner party, and the older man she's been staying with dismisses her with a ride to the train station and a ticket back to the city. With few resources and a waterlogged phone, but gifted with an ability to navigate the desires of others, Alex stays on Long Island and drifts like a ghost through the hedged lanes, gated driveways, and sun-blasted dunes of a rarefied world that is at first closed to her. Propelled by desperation and a mutable sense of morality, she spends the week leading up to Labor Day moving from one place to the next, a cipher leaving destruction in her wake. taut, propulsive, and impossible to look away from. Emma Klein's The Guest is a spellbinding literary achievement. That is a lot of really fancy writing for what sounds to me like a woman who's just kind of a drifter. And the whole thing right here where it says gifted with an ability to navigate the desires of others.
Yeah, so she
She's
uses
kind
her
of a
like,
hoe.
yeah.
This is like this sounds like an episode of Sex and the City.
Or The Girls.
Okay, so The Girls, I'm wondering when it says The Girls, are we referring to the show? Is there a book that the show Girls is based on, which I loved that show, by the way. It says here, a young woman pretends to be someone she isn't in this stunning novel by the New York Times bestselling author of The Girls. A young woman pretends to be someone she isn't is the way that you write this. So this, needless to say, is going to be a little free library let go because it is, again, holding up to what my original intention was. Provide some, like, something different in the little free library, right?
Also, it's going to probably do what it did to you. The cover is going to catch somebody's eye, the combination, they're going to pick it up and think, hey, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And they might like it. You might even actually like this. This actually might be pretty good.
This really?
Yeah.
You think?
I don't go off star ratings on Goodreads.
That's good.
You gotta go with your gut. So I'm a sucker for these like classics that are reprinted in like small paperbacks. Mm-hmm. And so I picked up this one, The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. And I've heard a lot of people talk about this as like an entry into a short classic that you can read quickly, but with a great, compelling story. And I, saw it. I think it was $1. I got it for $1.
Yeah.
It's not in the greatest shape. The cover's kind of peeling and torn a little bit.
But the artwork on the front is the artwork that's also on some of the better editions or newer editions. It's interesting. I wonder that. Yeah.
But this is a story about a guy who wakes up and he's like an insect, and then he has to kind of deal with this idea of like being ostracized, right, or something like that, and
by his family and his friends.
And there was a point where
because he's considered like disgusting.
Yeah, because he's a beetle or an insect, and so he's got to kind of come to terms with that, I guess.
Yeah.
I was at one point I almost downloaded an audiobook because it was free, but I thought to myself, this seems like a book that I'd want to read to kind of have more thought to, right? You
want to give it more time to like really sink in before.
Yeah, rather than while I'm driving, kind of distracted a little bit. Some books are good for that, but this one I thought was not one of those for those.
Yeah, I understand that. I think that when you really want to sink your teeth into something, you have to kind of read it yourself if you can. Well, it says here, and I'm going to read it from the back here. When Gregor Samsa woke up one morning from unsettling dreams, he found himself changed in his bed into a monstrous vermin. With this startling, bizarre, yet surprisingly funny first sentence, Kafka begins his masterpiece, The Metamorphosis. It is the story of a young man who, transformed overnight into a giant beetle-like insect, becomes an object of disgrace to his family, an outsider in his own home, a quintessentially alienated man. A harrowing, though absurdly comic meditation on human feelings of inadequacy, guilt, and isolation. The Metamorphosis has taken its place as one of the most widely read and influential works of 20th century fiction. W.H. Auden wrote, Kafka is important to us because his predicament is the predicament of modern man.
And I think you can also tie this into like just like identities and like, different things.
Whether it's about being a man or just being different than the rest of your family.
Kind of like how they
against the grain.
That's things like that. For me, I'm definitely making this a home shelf hero.
Yeah.
And if I ever find a better edition or like a cleaner edition, I might make this one a little free library let, but I do want to read it and I'll keep it. I mean, I like these ones. They're nice and easy to hold and they kind of don't take up a lot of space.
And it's a small, I would read that. It'd be interesting to get into that.
So definitely going to keep it for myself.
It's kind of a philosophy. It's like philosophy.
Yeah,
right?
Kafka
is considered like a philosopher. Yeah. All right. This one, The Friend, a novel by Sigrid Nunez. There's no accent on the N there. What do they call the accents on an N? Yeah, there's a name for that. The Friend. Look at this dog. Isn't he lovely? I grabbed this because the first thing that really caught my attention was this cool cover.
Yeah.
The really cool contrasting colors here and the dog on the front. I just thought it looked really cool. It's a pretty small book.
It's a National Book Award winner.
Yeah, it's a National Book Award winner. But the story, when I started reading it, I was like, okay, this sounds, whether it's something I would read, somebody would love to read the story. A moving story of love, friendship, grief, healing, and the magical bond between a woman and her dog.
Oh, nice.
When a woman unexpectedly loses her lifelong best friend and mentor, she finds herself burdened with the unwanted dog he has left behind. Her own battle against grief is intensified by the mute suffering of the dog, a huge Great Dane traumatized by the inexplicable disappearance of its master and by the threat of eviction. Dogs are prohibited in her apartment building.
Oh.
While others worry that grief has made her a victim of magical thinking, the woman refuses to be separated from the dog, except for brief periods of time. Isolated from the rest of the world, increasingly obsessed with the dog's care, determined to read its mind and fathom its heart, she comes dangerously close to unraveling. But while troubles abound, rich and surprising rewards lie in store for both of them.
Nice.
And I just thought that it sounded like such a cool story. I don't love reading about grief and things like that, but that's because it's a weakness of mine. I don't know, it's hard. But sometimes you have to, and I think in this regard, it's a type of there's a hopefulness to it.
Yeah.
And I really love that. It says, beautiful book, a world of insight into death, grief, art, and love, a sneaky gut punch of a novel, a consummate example of the human animal tale.
Right.
I don't know, it sounded really good, I guess. And that kind of pushed me over the edge in terms of picking it up.
Do you think it's going to be a let go or a hero?
I feel like this is a book that is going to be a home shelf hero.
Nice.
Because it's one that, because of my relationship with Pepper, and also just reading a book that maybe goes into a realm I'm not really comfortable with reading about.
But I think it might
There's a dog in there that might help temper that. Maybe it's a good one for me to read, and I think that I need to stretch myself in that regard.
Excellent condition.
It's in beautiful condition. So this is going to be a home shelf hero. This is The Friend by Sigrid Nunez. All right, on to the next.
My last one for the video is another one of those small classic reprints, and this is Fyodor Dostoevsky. I can't say his name.
I'm sorry, hold on.
Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor.
Take it down and hold
it. My mouth doesn't move this way.
One more time.
Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Yeah, there you go. Doesn't matter.
I love you.
I don't know what the translation is, because I know there's a whole thing, like some translations are better, some aren't.
This is a brilliant translation by the noted scholar and critic Sidney Monas.
There we go. So I picked this up because your brother, when we after almost a year of doing the book channel and me getting really into reading, he goes, if you're really going to really get into the reading, you need to read Crime and Punishment. And I've always thought like this book was one of those like, oh, this is a book that's kind of beyond my ability or beyond my understanding or literary chops. But as I've read more books, I feel like I can start tackling
it within your chops.
Yeah. So I picked it up because I wanted a copy. And like I said, I'm a sucker for these kind of like
it's a cool
handheld paper book. It has yellow pages. It's interesting.
Yeah, and it's got a cool cover. So Crime and Punishment is another one I've heard people talk about, where they say very much like what you say, that you go into it thinking it's going to be one of those like too big for your britches kind of a thing or whatever, but that it ends up being like, wow, like holy moly.
But I've also heard, like, I was mentioning like the translations, like some people will try reading a certain translation and can't get into it, and then they find another translation and they're like, oh, this makes it so much better.
Which kind of makes you realize that if you do start to read this and you feel like it's not vibing, is to maybe before like DNFing it, like consider it. It says Crime and Punishment is the story of a murder and its consequences, a tale of suspense without equal. On a more profound level, it is an unsurpassed study of pride and rebellion, guilt and redemption, far-reaching in its implications. Its setting is a Russia in the midst of troubled transition to the modern age. Its driven young hero, Raskolnikov, stands as a timeless prototype of alienated youth. Its unforgettable gallery of characters, ranging from police inspector to prostitute, from incorrigible sinner to unbearable prig, comes to vivid being in an atmosphere of life charged with living in a world where thought and action are fused by intense emotion. Here, in a brilliant translation by the noted scholar and literary critic Sidney Monas, is one of the greatest novels ever written. Crime and Punishment is the supreme expression of an author who explored pathological states and the psychology of high tension, the realm of obsession and possession. Because it was there, one could most clearly and dramatically see the human consequences of an idea carried ruthlessly through to its logical conclusion. For Dostoevsky, an idea always has skin around it and a human personality.
Nice. Yeah, it's it's one of the classic like pieces of literature, right?
I mean, it's a required reading for a lot of like high schools, right?
Not high schools, I think college level maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm intrigued by it.
Sure, as you should be.
So
So before you tell us,
okay,
it gets 4.28 stars on
that's like,
Goodreads.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, the things that people say about this book, like I've had this on my book bucket list for years, and I'm so glad that I finally got around to reading it. I loved this. I love
yeah,
Dostoevsky's writing style, and I love this book.
nice. So my plan with this is whenever I do get around wanting to read Crime and Punishment or find the time
Mhm.
to do it, that I'll start with this, and if it doesn't click, I might put it out in the little free library, go find another translation that maybe clicks better,
Mhm.
and go from there. So right now it's going to kind of sit on the shelf.
But here's my question though.
Okay.
I kind of wonder, like, if you have plans of putting it in the little free library at all.
Just put it in there.
Yeah, because I think
Okay.
because it's just going to sit on our shelf.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody might want to read it.
Yeah.
And
That's a
I
good
kind of,
point.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess any of these that we
Yeah.
keep as like home shelf heroes are going to be like that because we're not going to read them right away.
Right.
But if you think there's a chance that maybe you want to do some research to figure out which translation you might like
Yeah.
best, find some samples.
Yeah, because I
maybe
think there's
just
a
go ahead
couple
and put that
people
one out there.
who do like blogs that like show samples.
Books Are Sick, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, maybe I will just throw it up there, and somebody who's been wanting to try to grab it, and we'll take a chance at it because it's free
And it's a
for
cool
them.
looking edition too. I mean, it's a little
Yeah.
rugged, but it's a cool looking edition. It's
Doesn't smell
rich.
bad.
I can smell it.
Can you?
I could when I had
I
it
think it
over.
was pepper.
You don't want books to smell like pepper's breath.
Yeah.
All right, that's 5 for you. I've got one more.
You got one more.
All right. Got a couple. Oh, here we go. All right. This one is called At the Water's Edge by Sarah Gruen. She is the one who wrote Water for Elephants. She's got a thing with water.
It has a similar cover design too, right?
Yes, it does. Now, I read Water for
That
Elephants.
looks like a brand new book.
I know. It's a hardcover. It looks like a brand new book. It was this much.
Oh, we should left the tag on it, folks.
$4.49
Nice.
USD. I can't get the tag
We'll do that in the after show.
in the after show. We're gonna take this pesky sticker off with a gift you got from your brother for your birthday. Like
See if it
part of
works.
this gift, it's like a sticker remover for books. We're gonna see if it works.
Yeah.
Okay, so the book here by Sarah Gruen, At the Water's Edge, by the author of Water for Elephants, which I have read. It's been a long time.
You watched the movie too?
We watched the movie. The movie is not as good as the book. I mean, it never usually is. The book was good. I really enjoyed that book.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so this book, I found it because, it's in fantastic shape and good price. It says, after disgracing themselves at a high society New Year's Eve party in Philadelphia in 1944, Madeline Hyde and her husband Ellis are cut off financially by his father, a former Army colonel who is already ashamed of his son's inability to serve in the war. With his best friend Hank, Ellis decides that the only way to regain his father's favor is to succeed where the colonel once very publicly failed, by hunting down the famous Loch Ness Monster. Maddie reluctantly follows them across the Atlantic, leaving her sheltered world behind. The trio find themselves in a remote village in the Scottish Highlands, where the locals have nothing but contempt for the privileged interlopers. Maddie is left on her own at the isolated inn, where food is rationed, fuel is scarce, and a knock from the postman can bring tragic news. Yet she finds herself falling in love with the stark beauty and subtle magic of the Scottish countryside. Gradually, she comes to know the villagers, and the friendships she forms with two young women open her up to a larger world than she knew existed. Maddie begins to see that nothing is as it first appears. The values she holds dear prove unsustainable, and monsters lurk where they are least expected. And she embraces a fuller sense of who she might be. Maddie becomes aware not only of the dark forces around her, but of life's beauty and surprising possibilities.
All right.
So it just sounds really interesting.
It nails a lot of your things that you like in books. Historical fiction.
Right.
Cryptids.
Like Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, Loch Ness Monster.
Right.
And a
Scotland.
relationship in Scotland.
Right. Well, I kind of like the idea of like her husband and his best friend like trying to do something that his father failed at doing, to try to say like, hey, like, yeah, to prove himself, because he's kind of a beetle in the eyes of his father, if we're making connections. And it's a period piece. It on Goodreads gets 3.68 stars, which I don't know, I kind of will balk at that, but yeah, I know I'm a little too critical.
Don't.
But the story just really caught my attention, and it sounded cool. It also sounds like something that would be a cool movie or a series or something.
Right?
Like that.
Yeah. I think so.
So this one,
You gonna let it go? You gonna hero it?
I like the idea of this story.
Yeah.
But I am going to let this go to the free little library because I think because I really like the idea of
Yeah.
the story, but I'm going to keep tabs on this
Right.
because it might be one that
Go
I want
back
to
out
read
and
for myself.
snag out for yourself later.
It sounds like a cozy read for like fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to put this in the little free library. And I just know, based on some of the things people take from our little free library,
Yep.
that there's somebody out there who would probably appreciate
sure.
this. So that is a little free library. Let go. We hope you guys enjoyed this. Stick around for the after show over on Patreon because I have 3 more books that are part of this little series that I'm going to be talking about, whether they're going to be keeps or little free library let goes or home shelf heroes. And then I also have a book that a friend picked up for me. It's a picture book that she got at this really cool coffee shop in Colorado, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
Yeah. And do the scraper tool.
And the little sticker scraper tool. We're going to talk about that too, because I think we all need a little sticker scraper tool in our life.
But if you like this, thumbs up,
subscribe, and we'll catch you. Yes, in the comments, if you've read any of these, what you think. Should they be little free library Legos or home shelf heroes? Let us know. Yeah, change our mind or give us a, yeah, we agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.